Okay, so the question we're on is question 17. Was the US's like business like what they were doing in the Cold War or any war before discussed among the people of Ghana?
It was
Mm-hmm.
during that time
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. turned a good eye onto the people of Ghana.
During what time? The Cold War?
Yeah.
When the people had overthrown Kwame
Kwame
Nkrumah.
Nkrumah.
Ah.
So the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
stepped into the state of Ghana
Mm-hmm.
and started helping Ghanaians
Wow.
because he saw that Kwame Nkrumah had wanted to push us to communism.
Mm-hmm.
And so now U.S. started helping Ghanaians.
And that's how you develop that democracy and the 4-year right as
Exactly so.
okay. Okay. So this is now question 18. Did you personally know anyone who was in the military and might have had some insight more than you know into the Cold War? Like somebody who was in the military or somebody who was a politician who was knowing what was exactly going on, or did you know anybody like that?
Well, I knew some people.
Mm.
I knew in the military.
Most people in the military.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my senior brother, that is, with my cousin, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
was a sergeant in the army.
Yeah, so he has more information.
And he has more information. So when he comes back,
Mm-hmm.
he will tell us many things.
Oh.
Even they were taken to Congo
Mm-hmm.
to fight over there.
For the Cold War or no?
No. The people of Congo were fighting.
Mm.
And Kwame Nkrumah took them there.
Really?
Yeah.
So it means
fight
that
for the Congolese.
it means that Kwame Nkrumah, he desperately really wanted to rule over Africa, that he was doing anything to make Ghana a helping source when we needed our own help.
Other Africans.
Okay, so it means that like Ghana during this Cold War they were in with the United States and the Russia and everything like that, but they had their own things because their president was conning them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's where we come to question 19. What was the education system like in Ghana during this time? Like, what were you learning is my question. Like, what were you teaching the kids during the time?
Well, in our time in Ghana, the children of Ghana, the school children will learn almost everything in the world.
Oh.
I remember when I was in college, we were learning a geography of America. I remember I learned something about the Ohio Valley. So when I came to America, I did everything I could to visit
The Ohio
and then I saw the place they call the Ohio Valley.
How was it?
And the big lakes, the 3 big lakes over there. And you were learning things all over the world. I remember when we went to teach in Nigeria, even the people in Nigeria, we, the Ghanaian teachers, knew more about
their country
than them.
Yeah. So you're saying that by that time, what Ghana was learning, what your students were learning, and what the teachers knew was advanced. Because
right now, the Ghanaian children are limited to things about themselves alone, as you are doing here, right?
Yeah.
In America.
So how do you mean by limited? By
limited, that means things you see, the things around you.
they don't
That's
really see.
that's what you learn about. You learn.
And that they don't
You
have the
know,
opportunity.
well, do you learn history
Yes. This is for history.
about where? History about
Uh,
Ghanaian people.
Not all the time, but we learn it. I've learned about Ghana, but I only mostly learned about the fact that Ghana was Gold Coast, and then we learn about more of like Russia. We learn more of Russia. We learn Germany, especially their stuff going on with the Cold War.
In our exams,
Yeah.
history and geography. I remember I took a question in my final year about Java,
Java. Yeah.
a country in the southern part of Asia, even near India. That was the place I learned. I took a question from in my geography, was in my exams, and I did very well.
Really? Because it was advanced. You knew.
Because I learned it from early stage in school. And when I saw that question, I was very happy to meet it in the exams.
Yeah. So basically,
We didn't learn only about Ghana and Africa,
you
but
learned
we learned
more.
things more all over the world. I remember when we went to Nigeria, we had some teachers from India too who had come from India to teach. They were having degrees on them. But when you ask them history of Nigeria, they didn't know.
No.
And even Nigerians themselves
Don't know their own.
But we knew everything.
Everything. So Grandpa says back in those days, everything was advanced, at least to Ghanaians, because they knew their history, while some others didn't. So yeah, now we come to question number 20. Factually, the Cold War had a good effect on Ghana and played a role in the peace crops programs. Did you know about what the program was and what it was known for? The Peace Crops Corps program. Did you know that?
I knew. After the Cold War, you see, I told you that Americans started
Yes.
helping Ghana. When I was in college, there were Peace Corps from America who came to Ghana to teach a lot of time.
And did you
in
think that
secondary
was
schools
good?
and in training colleges.
How did you think? Like, did you think that was good? Like, they were helping Ghana become better. You think? Okay, that's good. So, in question 21, in your opinion, do you think the Cold War is important to Ghana? Like, do you think it's very important? It's something that Ghanaians
Well,
should.
I would say it's important, but not very.
Why not very?
You see, it taught us so many things.
Yeah.
Number one, it made us know the difference between communism
And democracy.
and democracy. And you see, normally the poor people, the lazy people, always choose to take the communism
Yes.
because he will say, if you work or you don't work, we all have shares. But you know, Ghanaians would like to work and acquire so many things and then use. But the lazy people will not work.
Okay. So, but you also like stated that you don't think it's not that important. Why don't you think it's too important? Like, why? Why is that?
What?
Why is the Cold War not too important to Ghana?
Well, I was telling you,
Mm-hmm.
it was good, necessary,
Mm-hmm.
but I said it was not very,
Mm.
because it made us know the difference.
Yeah.
And uh, after all,
Mm-hmm.
we got to know that
Mm-hmm.
whoever you are
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you are, you have to learn from the advanced countries
Yeah.
who will rather help you, who will
Yeah.
help you.
Exactly. So, Grandpa, what you're saying is that this Cold War it helped Ghana see the difference, but then at the same time, it wasn't really good because you went through so many things as a country.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we come to question 22. In your opinion, what do you think were the most important events that happened between the times of 1947 and 1991, which was the Cold War? What was most important out of everything you told me today? What was the most important things that were?
Well, the most important things
Mhm.
between this period was it made us, especially we in Africa,
Mhm.
to know where to go.
Mhm.
Even the democracy we are talking about,
Mhm.
I would rather say Africans,
Mhm.
we are not actually really ready for democracy.
Democracy, exactly.
We are
Mm.
not ready for it because of democracy.
Mhm.
Some people who uh, get nearer the country's fortune
Mhm.
would like to use all the money for themselves.
Mm. Yeah,
Greediness
is what's hurting
is what is
the
happening
country.
now.
So basically, although United States and other countries in this world seems to be benefiting from democracy, or if they still believe in communism, it seems as though Africa is kind of having a hard time because their leaders are taking the money instead of
Yeah, using
helping
the
the
money.
countries,
Yeah,
and
helping the
instead of,
countries.
so that is why Grandpa believes that they're not really ready because they're not actually taking stand. Like, even we have some countries today where they might only have 4 term year president, but they're each of them, when they come in, they're just using the money.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
using the money.
Okay, so in out of everything that I've heard about Kwame Nkrumah, I already have my opinion. But Grandpa, as you later on, what do you think about Kwame Nkrumah? Do you think he was a good president, or a bad president? Or do you think he was like in the middle?
You see, before you say somebody is good in something,
Mhm.
you have to weigh the things that he did.
Good.
What you think
Mhm.
was good and what you think was bad. Then you weigh the two.
Yeah. And how did you do that for yourself? Like,
Now,
mhm.
I saw that he was brave to bring us independence.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, what he was doing,
Mhm.
instead of bringing us independence to help the people,
Mhm.
he just brought us independence
Mhm.
to achieve his aim.
Yeah. So he was a more selfish kind of president,
Exactly.
which
So
doesn't really make him good.
that is to me.
Yes. Mhm. That's good.
Because let me give you an example.
Okay.
Somebody like Mandela,
Mhm.
even Kwame Nkrumah helped Mandela a lot.
Mm.
I remember, this is a passerby.
Mhm.
I remember when the South Africans had, you have something, the Soweto War, the Soweto War. During that time, when the whites were killing the Africans, they said, let us inform Kwame Nkrumah. That means they had in mind that when they inform Kwame Nkrumah, he will come to help them.
Oh.
And in actual sense, he sent them money. And I remember, even I was one of them when I was a young pioneer. He told us he would send it to South Africa to fight for our brothers. And we were ready to go.
Because you believed what he was saying. Yeah. Okay.
But you know what he was doing? He later on got to know that he wanted to become the leader of Africa.
Yes. So, Grandpa, you really talk about how you figured that out. How, like, my question is, well, you talk about that you know that. How did you figure that out? How did you start to know that Kwame Nkrumah, he was actually playing games with us? Like, how do you know?
You got to know that when you went to college to learn, the money he was spending for other countries, if you compare it to those countries outside Africa who had independence at the time again, they had developed a lot.
While Ghana was still
Going down.
But did you
A country like, I've forgotten this country. Right now, they are the greatest producer of palm oil.
In Africa?
No.
Like in all?
In the world.
What?
They came for the oil seeds from Ghana.
So Ghana was like that, the foundation of what kind of helped everybody. But then we ended up being the last. Okay.
Because of the mindset of our leader.
Okay.
He didn't use our resources to help the country.
So, as a teacher, do you ever think it was difficult to teach these events to your students? Was it difficult? Like, did you ever think it was too much for them, or they were going to be afraid? Like, how did you think? Like, did you think it was going to make them scared or anything? Like, because the question is, did you ever think it was difficult to teach events like this, like the Cold War and fighting and bloody stuff to the children? Was it hard?
Well, as a teacher, yours is to tell the truth.
Yes.
You said what?
Even though the leaders have wanted you to hide the truth, in order that the children will all blindly go in for them. But ours was to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So, when we started reading the American news, instead of Ghanaian news alone, we got to know that our leaders said this, but it is not true. So you tell the children the truth.
Yeah. But so because of this, you weren't because of the idea that you just must tell the truth and let them see it through. It wasn't anything. And what grade did you teach? Like, at what age were you? How old were the students you were teaching? Like, what were their ages?
Well, we were teaching in secondary schools.
high school. So
High
like people like
schools.
Stanley and me. Okay, so that means like it was kind of easier because they already have their own brains and the way to think, right? So it wasn't as difficult. Okay. So how did your students? Okay, we already talked about students. We're gonna skip to question 28. Do you think the school curriculum was beneficial to the students for topics such as the Cold War? And I think we already answered this because the curriculum was so advanced that the students were able to know what was happening based off of what you were saying.
You see, even right now,
Mm-hmm.
the curriculum has been changed more than 3 times
In Ghana.
in Ghana because what we were taught
Mm-hmm. It's different.
is different from what has been reached at this time. You are not continuing the same thing. Because when I was telling you, we learned everything in the whole world.
Yeah.
Even the geography of Australia, we learned it. At times you get to know that why am I cracking my base all over this?
Yeah.
Whereas you didn't know much about where you were living.
But I think it was
And-
good that you were able
But
to learn.
it was good.
everything.
At least I know everything. Greenland, the Eskimos, the Pygmies, we learned about all these people.
That's great. Okay, so now we're at our second to last question, number 29. Was it difficult for you as a teacher to understand or teach the event? We're actually going to skip that. In number 30, last question. In all of your years of teaching, what was something difficult you had to teach that made you uncomfortable or confused when it comes to political things? What was difficult for you as a teacher? Because I know like sometimes you have to go through hardships.
Well, you see, during our first time of teaching, it was different because in Ghana, first time you were teaching the whole class of more than 30 students.
Wow.
I remember when I was teaching in Dua and Fanta, my class had more than 40 children. And you were teaching them alone. But later on, we took some courses, and I became a subject teacher. So that you go to the classroom to teach your subject.
So, what was difficult? Was changing into a subject teacher difficult, or
No, that was
easier because
easier.
So, okay.
So the difficult one was
that
at first.
you're teaching everything.
Everything.
Okay,
You
so you have
to learn everything.
Okay, that makes sense. So also, what I'm gonna say is, thank you, Grandpa, for doing this with me. I have learned about your insights on the Cold War and everything like that. Originally, I thought because we were from Ghana and stuff like that, we don't know what's going on in America. But I have learned that back in Grandpa's days, they knew everything about anything.